Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh no! Good morning, Descendants and Zombies fans. Welcome back to my channel. It is a very beautiful morning this morning. Thank you so much, as it is every morning on this island, for having subscribed to this YouTube channel and showed your love and support all the time that you constantly do. Because honestly, I don't know where I'd be without each and every one of you. I have come to know that the Descendants and Zombies universe is the most loyal and most incredibly supportive group of fans that anyone could ever have the honor of providing commentary for, which is why I made a commitment last year to upload so many Descendants and Zombies videos for you on this YouTube channel, because you deserve to hear nothing but the best about your favorite Descendants and Zombies stars. I have heard Kylie Control cry for far long enough, and I'm here to tell you that it stops now and something can be done about it. How we're going to do something about it is we're going to show Kylie Control as much love and support as we can, so that Kylie Control will go on to be one of the greatest superstars of all time, because that's what I want for Kylie, and I'm sure that's what all of you want. So to make sure that happens, I'm going to solidify Kylie Control's legacy along with the legacies of your favorite Descendant stars. Now that could be anybody, ranging from Dove Cameron to Sophia Carson to Ruby Rose Turner. It's going to happen for them if it's the last thing that I do. Over the years, I've had the honor of profiling so many different things that have happened, so many critical times and events in entertainment, but I can never remember a time where something as profound as Descendants and Zombies has had a profound impact on all of our lives, and I am here to help you make sense of this when others are trying to criticize it when they have no business criticizing it. I don't know how people are getting away with providing so much constructive criticism, as they call it, on Descendants and Zombies at only 8:42 a.m. in the morning, if you can believe that. I am just waking up, and the sun is just up in the sky, and with the sun just officially coming up, we are going to spread a message of kindness this morning on this YouTube channel. Hello to everybody who may be new here. If you are new here, it is an honor for me to meet you, and it is an honor for me to be in your presence, and that's the way I've always felt about the Descendants and Zombies audience. I say this because no other group of fans of Descendants and Zombies have been as supportive of me as what you guys have. I honestly don't know how I can do it without you, and I don't want to know what that feeling is like. So I'm going to provide you with the best commentaries that I possibly can. For me, it goes all the way back to years when I used to follow Dove Cameron's career, and I am incredibly thankful of each and every single person who ever brought Dove Cameron to my attention, told me I should start talking about her and her relationship with Ryan McCartan. That really upset me last year, and I said a lot of very pointed things directed towards Ryan McCartan because I felt like it was necessary to say it, because that's how I felt about how Ryan McCartan was treating Dove Cameron. Now fast forward to 2024, here's Kylie Control, beautiful girl, bright future, and she's crying over her boyfriend, and that really broke my heart too. I want Kylie Control to know that she is a superstar and she did nothing wrong, and she has come off as an inspiration to so many beautiful people who still have a long way to go, who are figuring out their own life. But they're not going to figure it out without the help of Kylie Control, Ruby Rose Turner, Malia Baker, who they feel inspired by. And I'm here to tell you, I see nothing wrong with that, because I feel inspired on times by Kylie Control, Malia Baker, and Ruby Rose Turner so much. I've felt inspired by stars of the past, such as Dove Cameron and Sophia Carson. You know, Sophia Carson was in a position perhaps like many of you, probably not as severe, where she had to transfer schools because of bullying. But people go through this kind of thing every day. So when you feel as if you're backed into a corner, a proverbial corner per se, all you got to do is think about Sophia Carson and what she went through. Dove Cameron's trials and tribulations. Think about all the pressure that Dove Cameron was under, you know, battling with her dad's suicide, her friend being killed on the set of a TV show years ago. At just 8 years old, Dove Cameron witnessed that. I mean, who has to go through that at 8 years old? So it should put into perspective for you just how valuable life truly is. Now, time really is the most precious commodity, and it's all about how we spend the time we are allocated. And I know for sure that if I had time to spend to allocate, I would go back in time and spend it with the ones that I love and tell them I love them a little bit more so they knew how much I love them, because we can never tell somebody enough how much we love them. And I think the Descendant stars told you every single time they stepped in front of you, either on stage or on the set of a movie, that they loved you in their own unique way. The cast of the past will forever and always be missed because of contributions made by Cameron Boyce, Sophia Carson, and Dove Cameron, especially Cameron Boyce, whom I miss dearly, who I made a promise to each and every one of you just last year. I would do my best to honor his memory and keep his memory alive, because that's what people like Dove Cameron and Sophia Carson would have wanted with their beautiful tributes they gave just 6 years ago that received rave reviews and so much publicity. It was truly unbelievable. So I'm going to do my best to keep his memory alive. And so too will I honor the legacies of your favorite stars, and they will go down for having credible things credited to their careers in the entertainment industry, which is sometimes very difficult to do when you're faced with so much criticism. Kylie Cantrell has had a lot of backlash from calling her fans cutie. She has had faced her backlash from her political point of view having made its way into the conversation. So much so that I have announced on my show publicly, after 20 years ago, there was a conversation raised on public forums and discussion about how Jonathan Clarke should run for president of the United States. Funny enough how Jonathan Clarke heard Kylie Cantrell's trials and tribulations after having had her political point of view dragged into the conversation. Again, Kylie, you did nothing wrong. Just because you're not a Donald Trump supporter gives nobody the right to come down as a critic on you. But then again, everybody is a critic. The first time I saw Kylie Cantrell was in 2005, 2006, when she was uploading videos on YouTube. YouTube had only been around for about a year, and Hello Kylie was at the heights of its unprecedented and popularity, for over 500,000 views and almost 1 million subscribers in less than 1 year. Who does that? It's because of Kylie Cantrell's talent and her perseverance and her dedication to what she wanted to do, and that was simply entertain each and every one of you. That be the reason why she opened up the Worlds Collide Tour with every dream can happen for somebody, no matter what that dream is. And I've been saying that for 25 years on this show. It's not even 9 a.m. and I've already jumped on this podcast to record a video for you about Kylie Cantrell. I've often wanted to be a part of the Descendants franchise so I could be Kylie's love interest and really light the set of Descendants on fire and make it that much more unpredictable. Because here's what we're faced with. We still have so many twists and turns in the Descendants storylines to encounter, and we have yet to see it. We've had up to 5 movies. This will be the 5th movie coming out in summer 2026, and we still have so many plot twists and turns to be faced with, which could create new storylines. We have this new character portrayed by Liamani Segura. She's going to be referred to as Pink. She has her own song. She has a song, of course, rumored to be a remix to Life is Sweeter With You Are, with Liamani Segura and Kylie Cantrell lending their voices to the song that Ruby Rose Turner made famous. I'm excited about it, but I really don't know how I feel about it, if that makes any sense to you, because I think it was a song specifically written for Ruby Rose Turner, and I'll elaborate on this more later on this afternoon and this evening, throughout the evening, because I think Ruby's voice was incredibly satisfying on that song, and that's the reason why I've listened to it 5 million times. That be it the reason why anybody has listened to it 5 million times. Now, I'm not jumping to conclusions because the remix of this song could be just as good as the What's My Name remix portrayed by China and McLean. She did both songs. That was the thing. But I guess that's what made the song so good, was that her voice was on both songs. This song is going to have different artists on it, and with Kylie Cantrell lending her voice to it, I have no doubt it's going to be good. But the reason why the remix of What's My Name was so good was because the original artist lended her voice to the remix. In this remix, the original artist is nowhere to be seen or heard from. So there's a lot of consequences that could arise from this, a lot of trials and tribulations. So I'm excited to see where we go from here with this. Now, I'm in anticipation that we will see a fair share of criticism. But even if, I give you my word, even if we do hear a lot of criticism for this song, I will back it up. I will back up the stars. I will support them until the day that I die, because I want their legacies to live on for forever. That's my goal. That's always been my goal with this YouTube channel. I give you my word that if they are faced with criticism for a remix of Life is Sweeter When You Are, a song that introduced us and gave us a backstory to every 15, 16 characters that were in it, I will back them up. And I did that. I say this because I did this with the Zombies 4 Down of the Vampire soundtrack when the Place to Be music video premiered just last year. And I believe that was actually earlier this year, actually. Yeah, but 3 months before the movie premiered. So that was earlier this year, and I got over 1,000 views on my video. I think that people just find the criticism in anything, and they just tear it down from the ground up, and I don't know why they do that for the life of me. So I want to just put it out there that the Zombies 4 Down in the Vampires cast was a fabulous cast that really went above and beyond the requirements of anybody in the Zombies realm, if you would, to really bring this one to life. So I really don't believe they deserved criticism. And now, Zombies 5 is already receiving criticism about title changes and what supernatural creatures will be seen within that vortex. That will not be revealed until Zombies 5 gets closer, although it's been teased that Zombies 5 will have mermaids, it will have pirates, it will have sirens. I really don't know at this point, but one could suggest some mermaids because of Milo Manheim teasing it in a TikTok video, I believe, with himself and Meg Donnelly, where he said, we've seen just about everything happen in Zombies, but we still have a long way to go. And that should be a statement from Milo Manheim that a lot of people should never ever forget, because we really do still have a long way to go with this, with how many supernatural creatures are actually out there. and take it from somebody who knows a thing or two about supernatural, you can never be too sure about what to expect next, and that makes for exciting times in Seabrook. I've often wanted to live in Seabrook. Now, fortunately enough, I found this house near a soda plantation and a chemical plant that I know could explode at any given moment, but it makes it so much more fun creating videos about zombies, because if one's going to create zombies videos for you, he has to live his life out like he's living the life of a zombie. And there's no better way of doing that than by moving into a home near a soda plantation and a chemical plant. When I found out about that, I signed the lease, almost immediately moved in here, and I haven't left since. I've always wanted to settle in Seabrook. Apparently the plot of Zombies 5, as of right now, is that a supernatural creature is going to settle in Seabrook, that all the supernatural forces that we've previously seen see their introduction into zombies, be it zombies, vampires, werewolves, and aliens, will have to come together to take on this supernatural force, even if it is a siren or a mermaid. And they're suggesting that mermaids could be what settles in Seabrook. So we'll find out by the time it happens, but I, for one, am really excited about it. Just think about it like this. This time next summer, we'll be counting down the hours, the minutes, and the seconds to Descendants 5, Wicked Wonderland, which is a title that I'm really excited about. It's very intriguing. And it really raises the ire of a lot of unpredictable things to happen in the Descendants franchise that we have never seen before. We have never seen a sibling quarrel before in the Descendants franchise. We saw a friendship dispute between Red and Chloe that really didn't have much made of it. And I wish more would have been made of it, because it would have presented more controversy in the story. It was almost like, a 2-minute controversy, and they put their differences aside and they let friendship outshine any amount of darkness that they may have encountered, from battles with Jabberwockies to controversy surrounding Red's mother and her army of card guards, which were in our deck. That was kind of really unique how they did that. And Rita Ora's portrayal of the Queen of Hearts was fabulously done. It was a beautiful musical. I'm just going to say that about the Descendants franchise. It was so beautiful. I mean, a lot of people refer to it as a Harry Potter kind of vibe, a Wicked kind of vibe, because there was a choreographer on the team of the Descendants that worked on Wicked. But I think that even though it received its fair share of criticism for being a Wicked vibe or being a Harry Potter kind of vibe, it was really special, and it was very unique. The music was very different from what we had originally heard by Descendants 2. The music got better. The thing about the Descendants soundtrack was, in the first movie, the music was very deep. And the music really touched your heart in a way that no other Disney Channel franchise had ever been able to do it. And then by Descendants 2, the music got better. And that's what made Descendants stand out, was by Descendants 2, you had songs like Ways to be Wicked. You had songs like Chillin' Like a Villain. That was the #1 song on the Billboard chart for 2017. So because you had that songs like that finding its way within the top 10, you knew the music had got better. And you knew every movie for Descendants was just going to have better music and better storylines. And here's the thing. Don't ever believe that they're running out of storylines or characters to see their introduction into the Descendants franchise, because fairy tales have endless amounts of possibilities. It's just about how much a director and a producer actually wants to create for Descendants and Zombies. I myself would love the opportunity to create something spectacular for the Descendants and Zombies franchises, because I've always had a hand in stage productions that were far from anything but famous. From Dracula to Romeo and Juliet to Hamlet to A Midnight Summer's Dream. And believe you me, it's quite an experience to stand in front of thousands of people every night reciting the lines of Romeo and Juliet. Where art thou? I've often wondered where Ruby Rose Turner is every night of my life to rehearse Romeo and Juliet, to perform an on-stage production of this, seeing that she's parted ways with the Descendants franchise. I remember that fateful morning when I logged on social media and read on Ruby Rose Turner's X account that she was parting ways with the Descendants franchise, just as I was so emotionally overcome when Peyton List announced in 2018 on Twitter at the time that she was leaving the Bunked franchise and leaving Jessie behind, leaving her Disney past behind her. I want to put it out there too that there are so many Disney stars of the past, not just China and McLean, that could have a lot to offer to the Descendants franchise. I would go for Peyton List portraying a fairy tale character or a princess, because she's beautiful, and she's one of the people that I would consider to be the live-action Rapunzel, just as I've considered Ruby Rose Turner to be the live-action Rapunzel. Here's the thing. If people like Dove Cameron and Ruby Rose Turner want to be a part of these live actions like Tangled and Frozen, why not give them a chance? If you don't give them a chance, you won't ever have them realize their fullest potential. So I think as a creative director, one should realize how much of a desire Ruby has and possesses to want to be the live-action Rapunzel. I think she would be fabulous. This would be fantastic. I would be front and center to support Ruby Rose Turner. I would come up with a glitter sign in support of Ruby Rose Turner sitting front and center. I would pre-book advance tickets. I would go there, and I would just be hurrah, hurrah, hurrah for Ruby Rose Turner, because she's just beautiful. And if she wants to portray Rapunzel, just give her a chance. Just don't shut her out. Because I think that's what happened with Ruby and the Descendants franchise. Okay, the concept of time travel was taken out of it. No more need for Ruby Rose Turner, and she was just shut out. But the thing was that I got from Ruby was so fortunate to be there, and she felt fortunate. She felt inspired by these Descendants characters. She felt inspired by the entire franchise since the age of 9. So to just take her out of it and use the excuse, okay, time travel is no longer needed and it's going to focus on present-day Wonderland. You can't tell me that a girl from the past can't have something to do with present-day Wonderland, can you? I mean, you can find something for Ruby to do, even if it means having her portray a different character. I mean, yes, people will remember her being Bridget, and people will be saying what happened there, but I think that there are people who watch Descendants and Zombies who understand the concept of repackaging a character, and in case you're unfamiliar with what repackaging a character actually means, is you take the same person and you repackage them into a different image. I did this all the time in the wrestling industry when people couldn't make sense of their own career. So what we'd do is we would take them off of television for about 3 or 4 months, and then they'd come back repackaged as a different character with a different look and a different kind of vibe. We did that because their character previously wasn't going anywhere. It's not that Ruby Rose Turner's character wasn't going anywhere. It's just that Ruby Rose Turner's character wasn't given much of a chance to just come in and say hi and then just mysteriously vanish without any explanation, only the fact that time travel is no longer required in the Descendants franchise. That's the biggest bunch of bullshit that I've ever heard in my life, to be honest with each and every one of you. And I think that Ruby really needs a chance, more of a chance to shine, and I think that the writers and producers are really undermining and overshadowing Ruby with something else and something far greater. Do you really have that much confidence in Liamani Segura? There's no doubt in my mind she's going to do a fabulous job, but to be overconfident in a girl's ability to perform and taking Ruby out of it and replacing her with somebody nobody's ever really heard tell of, unless there's a resume that I've never seen or never heard tell of. I'm sure there is. I haven't done a wiki search on Liamani Segura just yet, but from what I've heard rave reviews about her, so let's see what can happen. I'm looking forward to getting to meet her by next summer, and this time next year I'll probably have great things to say about Liamani Segura. I'm looking forward to it. I'm sure she's not going to let me down, or at least I hope not, because she looks quite beautiful and honestly really intriguing. The thing about these Descendant stars is they have come off as such a huge inspiration to so many people from all walks of life. And people are more revered now and not afraid to say what they think because of the Descendant stars, because they feel as if the Descendant stars will want them to say that, will want them to be that way. And I think really that's true. A truer statement has never been made, because now more people really don't care what people think of them or what people say to them, because they just stand up in the face of adversity and they counteract it, which is something that I have a profound amount of respect for having done. And how these stars connect with the fans is truly unbelievable. They really make you feel as if you're a part of Oridon Prep. You're a part of living in Oridon for forever. And the chances of a fairy tale existence can actually exist. I mean, everybody who's watched Descendants has come away from it feeling inspired. And if you haven't come away from Descendants feeling inspired, then there's something seriously wrong with you. Here's what I have to say to every critic out there. If you are on YouTube to criticize Descendants and Zombies fans for being fans of this product, then I don't know what quite to make of it. I've seen a lot of videos on YouTube that don't make any sense to me at all. And I'll have more to say on this later on today on my show, because in all honesty, the selection of videos that you have pertaining to Descendants and Zombies put out there on YouTube really make no sense at all and really aren't following through with their promise of, 15, 20 Descendants videos a month. At least on this YouTube channel, a guy showed up last year, promised you Descendants and Zombies videos, and has fallen through with Descendants and Zombies videos, because there's something called a commitment that you make to your audience. And what a commitment is you promise somebody a promise and you keep that promise, and there's no greater honor in this life than following through with a promise and honoring your commitment. And if I were to show up here and promise you Descendants videos at least once every day and not show you Descendants and Zombies videos every day, not show up like I promised you I was going to, then that promise is not fulfilled. And I think one of the greatest honors and accolades is to fulfill a promise, no matter how good or how fantastic your video may be on YouTube, or how disastrous it may be in a lot of cases. There's no greater honor than having that promise fulfilled, and there's no better way to build a friendship and a relationship between yourself and your audience until you follow through with a promise such as this. And you got to believe me, it's been the greatest honor of my life to be able to sit behind this podcast microphone for over 25 minutes per podcast and talk about Descendants and Zombies in the way that it's meant to be talked about for a very long time at just 9 a.m. in the morning. I want you to know that I also encourage dreams to become a reality, because I think that dreams sometimes seem very unreachable for a lot of people. And there are a lot of people in your lifetime that are going to discourage you from accomplishing your dreams. You're setting out to accomplish a dream, or perhaps just the simplest of goals. And sometimes they seem so unreachable. And that's something that Descendants has always taught us, is that dreams are never as unreachable as they seem, and a dream can happen for anybody. That's why I really appreciate Kylie Control's selection of lyrics, or statements, I should say, in the Descendants franchise for the Worlds Collide Tour, telling us all that dreams can happen for somebody. Thank you, Kylie, for using my quotes that I've been using on this show for over 25 years. You know, 25 years is a long time to do something. And over 25 years, I've been very skeptical on the direction of my career, and I've been questionable about my choices in life. And I've admitted to each and every one of you that I am far from perfect. The reason why I talk about myself a lot on this show is because a lot of stuff's happened to me that remind me of Descendants. And it really allows me to reflect on my own life. If anything, Descendants has made me feel inspired to go back in time and fix a lot of the mistakes that I've made. Now, I know I'll never have the opportunity to do it. One can only wish for the opportunity to have done that, but I would love the opportunity to go back in time and just fix some of the mistakes that I've made and just have one more final opportunity, even if I had just one chance, to tell somebody that I love them. Because each and every one of you have inspired me so much to be a better person, and I can't thank you enough for that. I honestly can't. I honestly don't know where I'd be without each and every one of you, because this is the way it is. On YouTube, I am up against 15 million critics about Descendants and Zombies, and there are more critics than there are fans of this thing. And in order for us to overcome the critics and, you know, overshadow the darkness with any amount of light, if it would, I think that the only way we can do this is together. So if we're going down together. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know how much criticism these videos are going to receive. But I am forever grateful that all of you have allowed me to come on this incredible journey with each and every one of you, and to have reviewed Descendants and Zombies in the way that it's been meant to be reviewed for a very long time. I have the biggest crush in the world on Ruby, and I don't know for the life of me how they can put off Descendants 5 without Ruby. Ruby's voice on the song Life is Sweeter When You Are is something that's been embedded in my head for forever. It is never ever going to leave my mind, the powerful lyrics of how kindness really does go a long way in this world. How the song Red was such a powerful way to open up a franchise that will become so revered and be the most desire of anybody's heart in the entire world. The thing about me is what you see is what you get, and I've never ever wanted to take that away from anybody. Now, I know I have critics out there who don't like these videos, who have never liked any show that I've ever hosted, or any niche specifically that I've talked about over 25 years. But this niche is incredibly supportive of me. And you guys accepted me as your voice of Descendants and Zombies and your hero. You obviously saw a hero in me, and you've never let go of that belief. And because you've never let go of that belief, that gives me no right to discourage your hopes of Descendants and Zombies going further than it already has. I mean, for me, Descendants and Zombies is a passion. And I'm sure for you, the same thing can be said. The same light can be shed on it. Descendants and Zombies is a passion. We believe in it so much. If you didn't believe in it so much, you wouldn't dress up as your favorite Descendants characters every year on Halloween and come to my door. You wouldn't talk about Descendants and Zombies in everyday conversation over the phone or in person with your friends. You wouldn't have bonded over anything else in this world. If you had one thing you could choose to have bonded over, it would have been Descendants and Zombies. And I think that's an incredible passion. That's an incredible desire that I think a lot of people are not given enough credit for. And I think that the more that we can encourage people that dreams are a reality and can happen for somebody, well, then the further we're going to go in our life. And the more we're going to make of the opportunities we're presented with. Because opportunity is not going to come knocking at your door. You have to go out and you have to seize opportunities. And that's what I did here. I wasn't trying to take advantage of the Descendants franchise. I just recognized the popularity of it, and I wanted to make something of this opportunity. And I like to believe at just 9:05 a.m. in the morning, I've done that. And I have a stuffy nose every morning before I shoot these videos, and I don't know why. I guess it has something to do with the excitement and the anticipation of the forthcoming Descendants 5 and Zombies 5. I love the title of Descendants Wicked Wonderland. It presents tremendous emphasis on the Descendants and Alice in Wonderland characters, because I'm a huge fan of Alice in Wonderland. For those of you who don't know, I've read the Alice in Wonderland books, so I have a greater appreciation for the Alice in Wonderland franchise than perhaps anybody. And I have honored Kylie Control's legacy by talking about her in a way that I think she's deserved, or I feel at least she's deserved to be talked about for a very long time. I can't do this without you guys, so I'm hoping that if you watch this video this morning and you have yet to subscribe, you will subscribe, because believe you me, these two franchises still have a long way to go. And kindness still has a long way to go in this lifetime, because it's never spread enough. But we can help that by spreading our own message of kindness. Keep kindness in your heart, as I will keep you in mine, and we will talk in just a few hours from now. But until then, I want you to know that life is sweeter when all of us are, and we can all make a difference in somebody's life, even when they least expect it, just by simply snapping your fingers and using a little bit of magic. Magic is not visible, but it is everywhere around you. Never ever quit on your dreams and your hopes, because a dream starts with a hope and a wish that your heart makes. And a dream can come true and can happen for anybody. You got to believe me. Keep kindness in your heart, as I will keep you in mind, and we will talk again in a few hours from now, because life really is sweeter when all of us are.